I think you all know what this means. It's a CGC unboxing from last June. Stay tuned to see what grades came back and what books are in here and what they're worth. Wish me luck. Up next on this video from Bronzeville Comics. Hey there, comic book community. This is Jim from Bronzeville Comics coming to you with another video. And before we get started, like, comment, subscribe. We're over 2,900 subscribers. I still owe you guys all a 2,500 subscriber giveaway. We're going to be doing a 3,000 subscriber giveaway when we get to that. We'll probably do the 3,000 subscriber giveaway, I'm thinking, beginning of December. If we get there sometime in November. And I'm going to do the 2,500 real soon. I just need to find the time and figure out what is going to be included in the giveaway. So also follow us on other socials. I'm on Instagram at Bronzeville_comics. You can reach out to me there. I do Whatnot sales every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. Bronzeville_comics. There's a link in the description. If you haven't tried Whatnot, you can use that link to get 10% or $10 off your first purchase, whether it's with me or with someone else. And also there's a link in there to my eBay store. So I'm going to talk about the CGC unboxing in just a minute, but I got a couple of other kind of channel loose ends to wrap up because I know there are people who, kind of follow the videos. So I had done a video recently where I unboxed what I thought was an incomplete copy of All Winners 4. Because the timely Golden Age book with Captain American, Submariner, and Human Torch, etc. But what it really, because I have a copy that's missing the centerfold, so I wanted an incomplete copy that did have the centerfold. I got the book back. So I bought the All Winners 4 incomplete on eBay. What it turned out was I'll show you a link to that video where I unboxed it and realized on camera that it wasn't All Winners 4. It was the cover of All Winners 4 with the interior, I believe, of an issue of Top Notch Comics. So it did not do what I needed it to. Needless to say, I looked to return it. When I reached out to the seller, he said to hold off, do it outside of eBay, and he'd be out of town, so not to return until the following Friday. And I got a little suspicious of that, so I just, using eBay's buyer protection, I didn't want the time clock to run out on me. I just returned it to eBay through eBay. He was a little disgruntled because he didn't want it to affect the performance of his store. Now, I sell on eBay. I'm not sure how that works, but I thought it was just, it didn't sit right with me to do it outside of eBay. Anyway, long story short, I got my money back. So the seller has the book back, and I have my money back, full refund. Very pleased with that. I also just want to show you, a book came in. I haven't been buying a lot, and I can hear it in here, so that makes me a little concerned. This is actually the second copy. I saw it on eBay for a really good price. I thought the condition that it was in. So just an empty box with the book in some bubble wrap. And we're going to unpack it. And then we're going to get to the CGC box. And I haven't looked at the grades of that yet, so I'm almost as excited as you are, maybe even a little bit more. So just bear with me. I'll get this book out in a second. And it is a copy of Green Lantern 40. The first Silver Age appearance of Alan Scott, the original Green Lantern. Now, they had this listed as a VG from Mile High Comics. I did not buy it from Mile High Comics. A VG from Mile High Comics would be worth like, a 9.2 graded. I thought that the book looked really clean, that it had a lot of pressable defects, and I thought it was something that I could work with. Especially, silly me being a DC fan, leading into the purported Green Lantern HBO Max series in which Alan Scott is slated to be a part. The front looks a little bit, needs a little bit of cleaning, and but everything, the biggest crease is just down there in the bottom right hand corner. It's pretty small. Colors look good. Back cover looks good too. Definitely, most of the issues there are pressable. Pretty white. This is better than a VG copy. At least with a press, it will be better than a VG. So I'm quite happy with this book. I do have another copy. I'll probably end up sending both of them out to get graded to CGC. That being said, let's segue into my CGC box. And what I wanted to say about this box. So I got a box here. I know there are 10 comics in here. I know which comics are in here. I know where I got most of them from. And we'll talk about where I got the comics from. If I can remember, there are a couple. I don't know. How much it cost me, if anything. And we're going to look at the fair market value. But we're also going to look at the fair market value just over a year ago, October 1st, 2021, of these books, and see how that's changed. So what I'm going to put on the screen is it'll say FMV and the current FMV, and then in parentheses, the FMV of the book in this grade from October 1st, 2021, and we'll see how long the book sitting at CGC ended up kind of costing me, so to speak, with the downturn in the market, and you'll see specifically some of these books here, which were much bigger a year ago. I sent these books in. This was the first batch of books I sent in when I started to acquire more books, and after the first collection I bought. So 3 of these books are from the first collection I bought. A few others are from books I had picked up last probably April and May. I think I actually gave this book to my LCS in May. He put it together to send out in June. And June 2021, these books went out to CCS. And that was my first mistake. CCS got so ridiculously backed up that this, like another 50 books that I unboxed recently, just have been sitting there for well over a year. It took 15 to 16 months to get these books back. So in the interim, I have used eRod to do some of my cleaning and pressing on my bigger books. I've been working on books on my own, and obviously I'm in charge of that kind of turnaround time. It does take me a while just because life gets in the way. I don't have opportunity to press all the time, but I actually am getting back. I'll probably get back to 25 book submissions in the next week or so. So let's see what's in here. I know the books that are in here, but I don't know the grade, so we'll do that whole kind of surprise thing and grade reveal, etc., etc. So I resealed the box because it got delivered to my LCS owner, my buddy, and he opened it up, check what was in there, and make sure that they were my books, and I just resealed it for my own purposes so that we wouldn't know the grades. So I'm not going to look at the grades. I'm going to open the box here, and we'll get to it. And then at the end, we'll talk about the FMV of everything, etc., etc., etc. So, without any delay, let us look at the first book. Take it out of the plastic bag. I'll put it in my own plastic in my good time. And actually, I have 3 copies of this. Marvel Comics Presents 72. This is the first appearance of Weapon X. Right? So, wraparound cover, Origin of Wolverine, Weapon X, Shanna, Daredevil, Red Wolf stories, etc., etc. So this book was really hot. Kind of had spiked when I picked it up last year, and it was a lot of speculation around Wolverine. There was some speculation that Disney Plus was going to do a series, basically of Weapon X. There was nothing to back that up. I picked up each of these. There are 3 copies in here. This $10 a piece. And so this one came back on 9.8 white pages. Yes, that is a way to start. I actually picked up 5 total copies of this. So I picked out the 3, what I thought were the 3 best. So we'll see how that works out for me. So far, so good. It's a good start. Is it worth the wait? Would have been better to have a 9.8 back a year ago. Up next is another copy of the same book, 9.6 white pages. Okay, well, okay, we didn't 1 for 2. 9.6 is still a reasonably good book. And again, I bought that for $10. This is, I don't think they were in order on this. Oh, okay. This is a book I've been, I was picking up a lot. Talked about with Alan Scott, the Green Lantern Core HBO Max series. This is the first appearance of Kilowog, right? That big poozer in the background there. It is also, first appearance of Kilowog. I've been trying to get this book in high grade. This book came back a 9.2 white pages. Okay. Not terrible, but I've kind of learned my lesson with books like that. 9.2, it doesn't have a lot of value. 9.8 does, 9.6, probably that. Those books, if I am going through them again, I do them in a pre-screen. So when I picked up a collection, the first collection I picked up, and I'll at the end, I'll put a link to that video. If you've watched my channel for long enough, that's when it was Long Hair Jim, back in the spring of 2021. I picked this book up the day the first trailer dropped for Venom, Let There Be Carnage. And, well, this was in there. 361, newsstand, first appearance of Carnage. We all know that. Now, realize, I know my grading ability wasn't as good then as it is now. I understand that. You don't have to tell me that. I have people say in the comments, learn how to grade. I have. This was before I had a trained eye for grading, and before I was able to press myself. And the fact of the matter is, this particular collection, there are 3 books from this collection in this submission. Essentially, at this point in time, I paid nothing for those books because I've already made a profit off of everything else that I've moved in that collection. So this is pure profit, whatever this is. This came back as a 9.4 white pages. Still has value. Would have loved that to be a 9.8. Then I got a little overzealous with potentially submitting some of these books, and not really comparing the value of the book in graded form to the potential condition of the book. So I did pick this up. It did have some dirt there in the number box, but I can see already a spine tick, a couple of spine ticks in the marble box, it looks like, just looking at there. So this is the second print of that book. 8.5. 8.5. Yep. Lesson learned. Again, I paid nothing for this book, so I'm fine with that. You know, I'm not going to make a mint, but it'd be interesting to see what that book was worth a year ago. Up next, another Weapon X. Marvel Comics Presents 72, 9.6 white pages. So 2 9.6s and a 9.8 in that. Up next, what do we got? Oh, I picked up 2 of these. Now, these, I know they had dust shadow on them in the back. Dust shadow or foxing. And at least, I learned after the fact that, like, there's a poster inside, so at least it's not a green label. This is G.I. Joe #1. G.I. Joe, Real American Hero. The first Marvel G.I. Joe. There had been a G.I. Joe in the 50s, and then it was a showcase in DC in the 60s. At any rate, this came back as an 8.5 off-white to white. That's about what I was figuring for both of these books. There are 2 copies of that. I picked these up. This was the first books I picked up dealing with the antique store that I deal with. One was better than the other. I think the other one might have been the better one. This one came back. Oh, wow. 9.4 white pages. That is a bonus. Now, the problem with these 2 books, I'm very happy with this. I was looking for like 8.5s on those. 9.4 is a bonus for me. There's still, it's interesting. I don't know how well the camera will pick this up, but It's hard to contrast, but if you can see on the spine there, yeah, I think you'll if you have enough resolution however you're watching this, you can definitely see dust shadow on the spine there. And it is. Are they both? Yeah, they're both newsstand editions. And notice that they have been denoted as such. So that's pretty cool. That new thing that CGC is doing in denoting newsstands. And then after I know they were really crisp, clean copies, but I did notice they both had dust shadow. So the 9.4 I'm thrilled with. That was better than I would have anticipated. I think I have 2 books left. Okay, Incredible Hulk 340. This was in that collection with the Carnage books. I thought this was a really clean copy, but you can see there it's kind of got a miscut. Other than that, I thought it was really clean. There was something on the front cover, a finger bend. Looks like it got out. So this obviously, this classic Todd McFarlane cover, 9.0 white pages. Okay, I'm interested to look at the grader's notes on this one. I'm gonna think that it's gonna say it is. I'm wondering how much of it is that miscut that detracts from the grade, because I kind of still don't see. Maybe there's one tick on the back there. I don't see much else going on with this book. It looks like a pretty clean copy, nonetheless. So, one book left. I don't even know where I got this book. I don't think this is the last one. There were 10. Yeah. So, I'm not sure where I picked this one up. But, oh, wow. I didn't realize that. It's also a newsstand. I have no idea where I got this. Okay. I don't know if it was in that collection. Yeah, definitely a spine tick or 2. Let's take a look at the grade. 8.5 white pages. So, yeah, nothing special there. Okay. It does denote it on the label that it is a newsstand. I don't know if that really gives it much of a premium, to be honest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the values of all these books and the values just over a year ago, especially since 3 of them are Venom related. The 2 G.I. Joe books I had picked up just before the Snake Eyes movie was released last July. And we all know how well that did. So I'll be back in just a minute. Just be seconds for you. I'm going to just do my research and we'll take a look here. So this particular CGC submission, this unboxing has a current fair market value based on the prices I looked at of $1,550. If it had been a year ago, that would have been $1,961, but that's without 2 books because both the Green Lantern 201 and the 9.2, not a lot of sales, really no sales in 2021 at that grade point, and the Venom Lethal Protector newsstand in an 8.5 doesn't really have a lot of sales. So all in all, I didn't pay a lot of money for these books. 3 of them came out of a collection that's already paid for itself, so essentially those books are free. The Marvel Comics Presents, which are the big books, but those books have taken quite a hit. A little bit of rebounding lately with the Wolverine news that we have. A 9.8 was about $560 a year ago. It's down to about $305, although the most recent sale is $399. And again, that Hugh Jackman news that he's going to be reprising his role as Wolverine, that's really helped that book. The G.I. Joe books actually did pretty well. Again, they're newsstands, so there aren't as many sales. The 8.5, the last sale is April of 2021. So that book is a little more difficult to price. and the I did take a look at the grader's notes of the Incredible Hulk 340. It said slight bends to cover, and said slight spine stress lines. The bends to cover, I had them pressed by CCS. There really shouldn't be bends in the cover at that point. But if you look at the price point for that book, there's very little movement from a 9.0 to a 9.4. You'd have to get the book into at least a 9.6 in order for it to make any sense to get it cracked, pressed, and resubmitted. So, again, overall, I'm pretty happy with the results. I had a little more trepidation going in, not really having a good idea of what I thought the grades would be, because my eye wasn't as well trained last spring. I've since, and if you've watched some of my unboxing videos, I'm for the most part fairly close on the grades. So I didn't know what to expect. Again, the lowest grade was an 8.5. That's not bad. All modern books. And the fair market value of, what was it? 4 of the books in the submission is north of $200. So, again, was it worth the wait? Especially for the Carnage books, I would have been better off just probably selling them raw when the movie came out. But hindsight is 50-50, and I had no expectation when I submitted these books it would take more than 16 months for them to be returned. This is the last submission that I had sent through CCS that I've received everything that's sent through CCS. The books that I'm awaiting returns on are books that Erod pressed or that I pressed myself. I know that next week, in transit so far, is a 25-book 9.6 pre-screen. I already know that 20 of those books came back graded, and I'm very happy with that because I did take some gambles. I rolled the dice with several of those books, so I didn't expect them. I would have been shocked if they all came back graded at 9.6 or 9.8. I also have an economy tier of 25 books coming back. So those are both, I think, in the mail. I think one's in the mail and one's going in the mail tomorrow from CGC back to my LCS. So let me know what you think. Again, because people have put this in the comments that I need to learn to grade. Losing money will help me, learn that lesson, that kind of thing. Understand, I was more wide-eyed last year. My grading eye wasn't as trained. I was, a little more hopeful of getting just high grades on these books because I looked at them. They looked high grade. I know better now, and we'll see, because the books that I submitted that I have coming back now, I took detailed notes when I sent them out. I gave what I thought they were, so we'll be able to compare what my approximate grades were to the grades that come back, and we'll see how disappointed I am or how excited if they came back and they're better than I expected, or at least as well as I expected. So let me know what you think in the comments below. What room is there left for the spec on some of these books, like a Marvel Comics Presents 72? Are we going to see Carnage in any form in the future in the movies? Who knows? But let me know. So in the meantime, you can take a look at a couple of my other videos. I'm going to link to the video of the collection that I picked those 2 Carnage books and the Hulk 340 up from. And this is Jim saying until next time, enjoy your comics.